I started studying social work at the University of Queensland when I was 18 years old. I'd just been through 2 years of chemotherapy. I lost my leg to cancer at the age of 16, so it was a bit of a haul to get there. Started work in a whole lot of different areas. I was really very lucky. I worked for 25 years as a social worker. I worked for a Labor Member of Parliament. She was the only woman who was in the Labor opposition in Queensland at that time. And then I became much more involved with disability advocacy. Many people with disability living in very, very poor conditions throughout Australia, indeed throughout the Western world at that time. And that's kind of where I've stayed in my work ever since. I then came to Flinders, that was 2006, so I've been here for 9 years. In that time, I've taught in a range of topics in social work. I've also maintained a very, very strong involvement in disability politics and policy, including as a member of the National Advisory Committee on the Development of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. As part of my experience of losing my leg and having all of that chemotherapy, I spent 9 months resident in an institutional setting. But in that time, I met a whole lot of people who I knew were not going to have the same sort of life that I could have. I knew that once I was on top of my health again, that I would be back with my family, that I would continue with my education, building the sorts of relationships that I hope to have in my life, for having the benefits of an income, contributing to the wider community were not open to them. And so when I left there, in that sort of very solemn way that 16, 17-year-olds can do, I said, I'm not going to leave these people behind, even though I can walk away from them. And so I've remained highly conscious of people whose lives are really, really thwarted by the way in which medical and human services handle them, remove them from community life, remove them from family, place them at a distance of all the good things. Not because I've been placed at a distance, but because I have known people who have been.